Jonathan, I want to go back to you in Seattle. There's this big story that I found on your X feed talking about ICE agents in Seattle being doxxed by a bunch of the loony people that don't want illegal criminals to be rounded up and deported out of the country. Can you tell us more about that? What's going on there?
Yeah, well, this has been going on for several weeks now across the nation, where ICE agents, being doxxed essentially, far left activists, immigrant rights groups, notifying school districts, neighbor groups to take photos if they see any type of raids, and take these photos, and now they're putting it up on websites. So others can essentially be notified and alerted if they see these agents in their hood as well. And that's extremely dangerous for these ICE agents who are dealing with criminal illegals to begin with. And now that they're being outed, personal information, faces, it's really becoming problematic here, especially in Seattle.
Yeah, the first time I met Jonathan Cho, he was running through the quad away from Antifa at the University of Seattle. Alex, just overall, both of you have amazing bravery when it comes to being in these super tense situations. How important is it that, in spite of, not, this is not condoning doxing at all. I'm just saying, in spite of the fact that the left does play with some dirty rules, how important is it to continue to stand up and not let it impede on what it is that you're doing?
Well, I mean, Trump said it best, we have to fight. And that doesn't mean a physical fight, but it kind of means going out and getting in the mix and seeing what's really happening. Because, some of Jonathan's work, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but a lot of people are scared to go to these protests. And people like Jonathan and I are just crazy enough to go out and get in the middle of it. So it's not this glamorous thing. It's really not going to a protest and getting, Antifa hitting you with umbrellas. Nothing's really glamorous about it. But I think it needs to happen so people realize what's actually going on. And just the weirdness. I'm sure Jonathan goes to these protests, just some of the people, and that's why I almost get the content, not even just to see the protest, but some of these people are so bizarre and on so many hormones, and they're so many times vaccinated. Like, it's just the freaks of the freaks. And Jonathan and I, we're pretty freaky too for going and, filming all these people out in public.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kudos
we got to be
to
crazy to do what we do, Alex. But, I just simply want to quickly add, Jobob, the reason why we're out there trying to cover these protests as well is because you don't have mainstream media out there. This is
Yeah.
the type of content that isn't brand safe. You can't sell diaper ads next to this. But at the same time, we've got to expose and show what these activists are doing. In many cases, the violent rhetoric they're putting out there, the call to action, the mobilization, and destruction, the graffiti, the trashing of vehicles and buildings. If we're not there to spotlight that, no one else will be.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the courage it takes. I go into some of those riots as well, but fortunately for me, the protesters slash rioters are so racist, they look at me and say, brown guy with earrings, he's probably on our side. So I'm usually safe. Jonathan Cho, Alex Stein, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. We'll have you back as soon as we can.
Have a good one,
Thanks,
Joe Bob.
Jobob.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.